I'm going to get these three first. Okay, this is you're in a position of power and authority in this, and there's an abuse of power going on. And as soon as I flip this, it's like, okay, this is like you're an inspector or an inquirer. I'm not sure if you're doing the inquisitions, but you're around the inquisitions. And I don't know if this is a Spanish Inquisition, but you are like detective, investigator, inquirer, asker of questions, seeker of answers, and in the power. I think you come in as a man in this, and you have to be discerning and really have a clarity of purpose. There's a righteousness within you that you're seeing. It's almost, yeah. You're seeing people that are you're seeing people that are questioning authority, and you're asking questions. You're doing your job, but you see people that question a little bit rigorously, shall we say, and you're not cool with it. You're not comfortable with it. You're trying to find answers without having people be ratted out or tortured or, handled badly like historically has been done in certain situations. You're trying to learn discernment and discrimination because you're inquiring about this. You're investigating. I'm getting detective, inquirer, investigator. What's going on with this? The father of the judge. You had influence over things to create consequence. Modern judges, oh, you broke the law, here's the consequences. Judges then might not have looked like judges do now. You weren't even appointed as such, but you were male in a position where people trusted your discernment, your ability to see what is black and white and what is fair and be reasonable, and to hand out punishments or to help determine penalties. That's not a fun one, but that's what I'm getting. It was difficult for you. You didn't want anybody to suffer, not at all. But you did want clarity. You were aware of the tasks at hand, what needed to happen. So I've got occupation. What else about this? You were more pro-women than most people in your time. You would see the women that were older women that would get the bum rap, so to speak, that didn't have fair shots. You would try and rule in a favorable way towards them. But you had to focus and have balance, and it had to be balanced with the society. I'm still not clear where you are in time yet. So much sadness and sorrow you saw. This is so much you saw. The heartache in the books and the laws and the things that are written. It's like, really, can't there be a better way? You had the keys and preparations to move things forward, to help shift things a little bit. Not enough laws were written, but this is feeling like you're under somebody that is a king, and I don't know if it's the king of England or the king of Timbuktu. I have no idea. But you're under the king, somehow under this leadership regime, whatever, and you're meant to enforce, to investigate, to seek justice, and to help determine and mete out justice, to investigate, to be the detective, to determine. You've got the spirit of the good cop going on, but you're also having to be the judge. And you know when there's like corruptness. You know when there's corruptness, and you know that sometimes it's an unfair advantage. You do the best you can to help, but it's sorrowful for you. You don't like this, what you feel is wickedness around you in some of the people in authority. You don't like it. It makes you irritated. Now what happens here? There needs to be better laws. There needs to be better advocacy. And right now, all you are able to do, the role that you are having to play, is investigate situations, determine determine who needs to come in for further questioning, and try and get to the heart of a matter without having the wrong people suffer too much. The world sees you as a holder of truth, and you're trying to find out who the thieves are, who the sneaky thieves are. It's like, you would probably know the difference. Like if you want to go all Les Mis on it, and the person that steals a loaf of bread, you wouldn't be like wanting the death penalty for the person that steals a loaf of bread, like the Les Mis thing. You would want justice for the family. You'd want to help them. It's like you were supposed to do this, but you had a heart that was more like the Father, more like what might be a father or a priest or religious leader that is righteous, not corrupt. You would see corruption in the powers that be. You would see corruption in the world around, and you would know the truth. You would have more compassion than was being shown. Really? Okay. All right. So it does feel like there's somebody in power that is a little bit, like, not very good at using it. Advising the king, advising somebody. You know his game, you know his gig, you know the smoke and mirrors, and you know how to create offers that help others. It's like Detective Inspector Robin Hood almost. You know how to do this. You thwart a few things that this guy feels like not on the up and up. This guy feels like an asshole in this lifetime. You know how to change things. You know how to create things differently. You know how to go in as the knight in a little bit differently. You know how to go and serve. I'm getting a little bit of Robin Hood reference, a little bit of Scarlet Pimpernel reference. Yeah. You know how to disrupt things, but also get the information to those who really need it to come out on the side of good. And you know how to circumvent, bypass. It's like you've helped a few people get away from situations where they could have been really, really treated with hostility or worse. And you help them, yeah, this is what you need to know, and this is when you need to go. Look for this signal, and then you give it to them. You fight on the side of the good angels, even though some people see you as the bully. You disperse what you can, how you can, fairly. This is you giving out what you can, as fair as you can, justice-wise, and giving other options to people that need them. Your good heart, it's surprising that you're in the occupation that you're in. I think that you knew how to play the game of the Good Old Boys Club well enough that they thought you kind of were one of them, but your heart wasn't one of them. You tricked them.
She asked, why did this life come up?
I'm not sure. This is all about like justice and advocacy, and when there's unfairness and compassion. And it's like you remember how to be compassionate, though those around you do not. You're around people that sometimes have greed, but you know the choice of the devoted heart. You know the path of the devoted heart. And you know to come from that place, the heart space of love. That's the most healing of all. I think it came up because you know how difficult it was to be a woman on your own in that time, even though you were born a man in that time. You had the ability to have power to help other women. There were so many betrayals, so many things, and so many of the harshness that came up. And it's like, you could see it. You did not like this corruption is what I'm getting. You wanted victory. You were seen and recognized. And some of the heroes that are seen and recognized should be. And some of them were cons and you knew it. Interesting. What else? This deck is done talking. Okay. Go the pre-Raphaelite version. It came up because there are women like, historically, there's women like Joan of Arc, or people that are really, really righteous crusaders that are women that are fighting for whatever needs to be fought for, to balance the scales in their various societies and times. And you can see that, and you can see that very, very clearly. You can help direct that. It's not that Joan of Arc led an army and it was an army of entirely women. Now, was it? No, she was on the cause of right, and so were you. And this is like you were clear about where your boundary was. There is a time where there is a cause of right that you need to take up advocacy for in this time, and you landed on the right side of history, as they would say. You were clear about that. You had the authority. You had the truth. You knew about this. It came up because it will always come up for you. And whether the advocating that you do is for one individual or for a group, this particular lifetime, it was for many individuals, many individuals, many individuals, many individuals. You would understand and see each other on a human level, not on a, this is what society says, this is how you judge it, you're guilty by association, oh, you're an old lady, you know something about herb medicines, you're a witch, you die. You're not going for that nonsense. You would never go for that. Life after life after life, you come through as the Queen of Swords. Even though you're a man in this life, the Queen of Swords knows the truth. She's receptive to what is morally true and what needs to be. And she doesn't put up with the shit. And she's shrewd. She's smart. She's sometimes seen as too abrasive, too aggressively male. She outsmarts the devil every time, because when there's corruption, you will answer there. You will be there. You will advocate. Breaking chains. This is what you do. The High Priestess energy, the really, really good center of what you have, your discernment when you've grown past this point where you've made your own mistakes in your own personal realm, in your own personal field. Then you take it on to go forward and to advocate and help others. And you've done this life after life, not just in this one. You've done it in several lives before. You've done it in a few lives since.
She said, I pulled Queen of Wands this morning.
Yeah.
And
She wants justice absolute, the Queen of Wands does.
And she also asked, is there a timeline yet?
I don't know if there is yet. I think the reason I'm having a hard time getting a timeline is because this role has been played by you more than once in the male form, where the men had power, but you were on the side of the divine feminine, on the divine feminine energy. I'm getting references to Joan of Arc and Spanish Inquisition. Now, I don't know which time frame that is. It feels like it's in between those times, and then it feels like it's also after those times. So, I don't know. You're between A and B here, and then you're after that too. The Ace of Wands. The fire, the ambition, the desire to move forward, and inspiration. This is moving forward towards inspired times. It's not that you show up in just one century. It feels like this is after 1200, and every couple 150, 180 years you're popping up. And I don't know where, but you're popping up doing the same damn thing. Popping up doing the same damn thing. What's going on with that?
What is a karmic pattern I need to end, or is this beneficial?
This is beneficial. This is beneficial. You are, you know, the history books are written by the victors, but the history books don't always write about the unsung heroes, the ones we don't know, the ones that help do things. We don't know about all the ones that are a little bit less anonymous, less named, less titled, less on the side of victory with the lords and ladies and the lands that are acquired. We don't always know who these were historically, and this is what it feels like. It feels very European. It does not feel like Scottish Highlands, if that helps. It feels very European. In multiple regions. I'm getting Italy through Spain and then over towards Germany. I'm getting a little bit, if Germany is here, this would be a little northeast of Germany, down through here, all of this over. I'm not sure what that's about, but that's what I'm getting. 10 of Coins. There's family, legacy, and dynasty. You're around families of power and families of wealth that build. They aren't always aristocrats with titles and lands. And sometimes those switch hands, but you always are coming in a place where your family situation has enough setting, enough power that you can help pivot the threads a bit. Help create more justice for those that need to go through and do other things. We always want to see history on such a grand scale of just kings and queens and lords and ladies. And we don't see the ladies' maids or the ladies in waiting or those who are of the good houses but not named lands, you know. We don't always see that. But I think you are of a successful house. The most important thing is you come through from 1200 through till now, but off and on about it feels like 180 years or so, you're coming through and you're doing this guardian thing, taking up the sword for those who can't is the thing. You help level the field of justice and you help outsmart corrupt powers. I don't know what that's about or why, but it is your calling, it is your duty, it's what you succeed at. You're really great at doing it. You see value where other people don't, where other people in power don't. You see value in people that get passed over, looked over, or sometimes end up on the short end of the stick, so to speak. You're around celebrations, around parties. Again, Scarlet Pimpernel comes through. Now, Scarlet Pimpernel is a story that, you know, this guy is kind of pretends like he's a fop, pretends like he doesn't know things, and he's just like considered poncy, but he's already acting as a spy during, like, I think it's the French Revolution or something like that. You might find that if you look that up, you'll be like, okay, this might be more where we're talking. Because this is coming through, it's one lifetime that's representing multiples. It feels like you've done this over and over and over multiple times. Fought on the side of good, fought on the side of strength in a gentle way that shifts how the lion moves. That's what I've got. You shift the house of the lion.
I should have asked, does it show if there's anybody in my life that was in my life before?
It wasn't about this. Sometimes I can go into these and we'll see past lives of families, of brothers, of mothers, of sisters, and sometimes I can get specific dates. This one is showing me very, very much the advocate, the fighter, the just seeker. This is considered the spy in the camp sometimes because he observes the details. He listens closely, all of this, but he also has associations with Archangel Michael, that is the protector. This is what your role is, that's the protector, and you work for whatever the House of Lion, I don't know what that's about, but the House of Lions is something that you work in a gentle way to help keep it more clean, keep it less corrupt, and advocate for those that might be mowed over by power. That's what I'm getting. So it's not showing whether you had kids. It's not showing whether you had soulmate, marriage, wedding. That's not what this is. That's not what this is bringing forward. And right from the jump, it showed detective. It shows inspector. It shows inquisitions that are unfair, where you have to exercise discernment to outsmart the corrupt power. That's what I'm getting. You help lead the lion in a better way. That's what I've got. That feels very, very complete. This is you. This is you. This is you. All of this is you.
She said it's very true, all of it.
Yeah. I sometimes I wish I could say, well, I need to know this, I need to know this, I need to know this. But sometimes it comes out totally different. And I follow the nudge, and that's where we're at. So that's complete. You are fucking amazing. You probably still are fucking amazing. You're going to be fucking amazing every fucking life. It's like, that's not fair. Bam! And you might not do it as blatantly as that, but you'll correct that problem in no time flat. Yeah. You won't like seeing anybody getting picked on unfairly, ever. Ever. You're not wired that way. You will protect those that can't protect themselves. You will help shift energy in a way that serves the whole by doing so. So that's complete.